I just want to say one thing about the covert narcs and um how they like to use certain symbolism, and that relates to like the discard, when they discard people and their victims when they discard you. And I think it's hilarious because they're really trash, right? They know they're trash, but they have to make you out to be like you're the trash, you're worthless, but they know that that's really them. So what they do is they like to use a lot of symbolic stuff, right? Like they'll get like paper and they like to like crumple it, right? And mess with the paper because that paper symbolically is you, their victim. So I've seen so many covert narcs do this where they will get things to fidget with their hands, right? And those are the objects that they're fidgeting with, and you represent that object, their victim, the one they're targeting, because they see you as an object. They don't see people as people, they see them as objects because they're fucking fucked up in the head. So they're playing with that piece of paper or that object, and that's supposed to be you they're manipulating and playing with, right? Like they're the puppet master, but really, if they're messing with somebody smart, then really they're the ones being played and manipulated, not manipulated. Like people like myself who are, woke to their bullshit, we don't want to manipulate them. We just want to shut them down, basically, and prevent them from hurting people. But this is pretty much what they do. They're messing with this piece of paper, right? And that's supposed to be you. And then when they throw it, right, the piece of paper that they're manipulating and playing with, like that's symbolically you that they're throwing away. Like, oh, now you're trash. Now you're worthless after they drain your energy, sucked you dry, sucked your energy, drained the life out of you, victimized you. Then they're going to throw you away like that. That's who you are. That's what you represent. I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen covert narcs do this where they will literally play with something like an object or a piece of something. Paper, usually that's what it is. They like to play with paper because they like to just mess with paper. I don't know. It's really like weird, but they like to do that shit, and I think it's just like stupid. But they try to act like, oh, this is you. This is my victim. I'm playing with you. I'm, manipulating you, and then I'm gonna crumple you up and throw you in the trash. Haha. Like but really they're the fucking trash. Like they are literally the walking trash can, and they want to make you out to be like you're trash when it's them. They're the fucking trash. So pay attention to when you see them fidgeting with shit with their hands. Watch what they're fidgeting with, and you need to pay attention to their body language. And they will, try to manipulate that object in their hands because that's supposed to represent you. And that is actually a sign of contempt, right? Because they feel a lot of contempt and they despise the people that they target. So they feel a lot of contempt and hatred towards you, which is psychotic because you didn't fucking do shit to them. And there they, sit there and act like you did something to them. You didn't do shit to that motherfucker. And there they are trying to, you know, act like they got all this contempt for you when you haven't done shit to them. And this is what pisses me off the most about narcs and sociopaths and all these motherfuckers, the cluster, I call it cluster bullshit. But this is what pisses me off about them because they do all this fucking shit to people who haven't done shit to them. I can understand if you're going after somebody who actually legitimately victimized you and hurt you severely, like they do to people. But the fact they're just targeting anybody who hasn't done shit, that's what pisses me off the most, because they don't have any fucking morals. They don't have any morals. That's why they do that shit to people who don't deserve it. So the thing about schizoids like myself is we actually have a moral code. They don't. And somebody asked the other day on my channel, oh, what about a narc with schizoid? And I said, well, they make schizoids look bad, and God, that's a horrible combination because it's like the two polar opposites in one, whenever you have a cluster B mixed with SPD, like schizoid personality disorder, it's a really bad combination because it's like two polar opposites together. Like they have totally opposite core needs. One values solitude, the other one needs supply and validation. So it's the total opposite. But yeah, I mean that combination is just awful. I mean it Like, it makes schizoids look bad, and I feel bad for the schizoids, for any NPD or BPD that represents them that also has SPD. I just wish that wasn't a combination. But you got to keep in mind that even if they have SPD also on top of their NPD, they're still fucking dangerous. Why? Because the cluster B is there. The cluster B is mixed in with the SPD. That makes them real fucking dangerous. Probably more dangerous than if they just had NPD. So no, just because they have that SPD, people think, oh, that makes them less dangerous. That might make them more understanding. No. No, it does not. They still have the BPD. They still have the NPD. They still have the ASPD in addition to being a schizoid. They're still really fucking dangerous. A schizoid is harmless to people. They mind their own business. They're not out hurting anybody. But if they have NPD in addition to, yeah, no, they're really fucking dangerous. Anytime there's any cluster B mixed in there, get the fuck away from them. Do not play with them. Do not think that because they have SPD or something else that you think might mellow them out on top of. No. Get the fuck away from them. And here's the thing. Here's how you find out if they have it. You need to demand a fucking psychiatric evaluation from that motherfucker. Especially to you ladies, if somebody, listen, if you're trying to date somebody, that's the first thing you do is you sit them the fuck down and you have them get that and that's how you filter them out. That's how you rule them out. And you know what? If they say no, that tells you everything you need to know, because they're fucking lying. They're fucking lying to your fucking face. And they're playing in your fucking face. And they're basically saying, no, I'm not going to do anything for somebody lowly like you who's beneath me. That's basically what they're telling you. So that tells you everything you need to know, and you just walk the fuck away. Because if they were actually honest and genuine, right? And if they genuinely wanted to connect with you, they would have no problem. They would have no problem doing that. But see, they're not coming from a place of being genuine or honesty or wanting to connect. It's hilarious because somebody who's like a schizoid or whatever, or autistic, and they already struggle, with connection, they still are genuine. When they do try to connect with people, they're genuine. They're coming from a place of being genuine and authentic. A narc, no, never. And like I said, I don't care if they have SPD too. I don't care. They're not genuine. They're predators, and they're gonna fucking hurt you. So you have to be very intentionally hurt you. So you just, that's how you basically rule it out. And they are going to definitely be like, this is beneath me, and that's how you know they're not genuine. They're not genuinely trying to connect with you. They're trying to use you for supply. That's it. They're trying to use you as an object for supply. Because if they were actually genuine and genuinely wanted to connect, they wouldn't have an issue with that. They wouldn't have an issue. They would be honest and transparent, but they're never going to be that. They're never going to be that because they know that a lot of the times it's good that psychiatric evaluation is going to reveal what the fuck they are. And you're not going to want to deal with them when you see the results of it. They know that. That's why they don't do it. And that's why I'm saying people need to start demanding this stuff from them. If you even suspect it, have them do it. It's just like when you have somebody get an STD test, right? You want them to be transparent and show everything they have potentially. And you want the results, right? The blood test. It's like almost the same as that. I mean, but like a psychiatric evaluation, right? So you know everything that they have. But they're never going to be vulnerable like that. They're not. That NPDs, they don't do vulnerability. They see that as a weakness to exploit. And when they hear about other people's vulnerabilities or honesty, all they see is data points, and a roadmap, a blueprint to try to hurt you and use those vulnerabilities against you. That's all they see. They don't see it as anything, oh, well, that's genuine. No, they don't care about that. They care about information they can find out to later use against you and hurt you with. That's all they care about. They don't see anybody being vulnerable and honest as like some great thing. Oh, they're being genuine and honest. Like, that's a good thing. No, they see it as, oh, wow, now I can roadmap or make like a roadmap or a blueprint of their vulnerabilities to exploit them. That's how they see it as. So they see it in a predatory way. God, I can't stand dealing with them. And I'm glad that I don't have to deal with them, basically, because, you know, I work remote and I have for a long time. And I mean, I've encountered some of them, but sometimes, but I mean, genuine, like, but yeah, just keep that in mind. Somebody asked if a narcissist has SPD or anything too. No, it does not make them less dangerous. If they have any cluster B in there, run. Get the fuck away from them. And like ASAP. Because they're only ever going to see you as an object to use as supply. And the second you do something they don't like, they're going to discard you like that piece of paper I talked about earlier. That's you. And they're going to throw that into the trash and treat you just like that. Because you did something they didn't like. Or you went against their control, or you didn't let them control you. Or you stepped out of line of their delusional ass, fantasy that they had you in, or that they had in mind of you for you, or that perfect image, or whatever the fuck stupid shit they think about all the time, which is like these perfect, flawless images, which is just fucking delusional, but that's NPD for you. That's NPD for you.